This is Brian David Marshall from Magic the Gathering. I'm here with Aaron Forsythe, a.k.a. The Interrogator. I've heard from everybody else involved in the interview process and the interviewees that you were the tough one, the Simon, as it were.
Yeah. I come in, generally when I meet most people, it is, I don't like you until you prove otherwise. And that's basically how I approach the job interviews. I dressed up a little smarter than most of my coworkers did and decided that I was going to be the bad cop and just kind of lay into question after question and see if they can handle it.
And how do you think these three finalists did under that kind of pressure?
Well, obviously they did quite well considering we hired all of them. It was basically I wanted to see who shot themselves in the foot, and nobody did. They all had answers for the stuff I was asking, and some better than others, but generally they all were on the same page as R&D is, and there were some good dissenting opinions, but that's what we look for, and a smart bunch of people.
What's in store for them over the next year? I imagine that someone comes into the internship position, there's a certain amount of hazing or rookie initiation or anything like that they can expect. R&D is pretty notorious for stuff like that.
It's been on and off, but with this new crop of people, I can imagine us going back to some of our old shenanigans. We are like a fraternity. A bunch of like-minded people that'll enjoy it, like having a good time, and we're in close quarters with each other all the time. It almost kind of gets like a military feel to it, and I'm sure we'll make them earn their stripes.
And tell us a little bit about that last contest that they had to go through today. What was that like? They had to actually fight for a card design or a card change?
So the challenge was run. We said, okay, here's a set that's done. It's ready to be typeset, which means it's pretty much out of our hands and it's going to go be printed. Except we said, okay, we found a broken card at the last minute. We need to just scrap that card, try something new. So we picked an existing set that maybe they weren't completely familiar with, Urza's Destiny, and said, okay, opposition, we don't want to print it. Here's the art. Please make some cards that can fit this. Blue, rare, can fit this art. Don't make it anything like opposition. Go off and do that for an hour, and then come and pitch it to me and Randy and Mark and Devin Lowe and Henry Stern and Matt Place and Mark Gottlieb. We had the whole, every hard ass in the department there, and they had to get up there one at a time and kind of go over their ideas and explain why it was good. But what we were looking for really was their ability to work in a group and say, well, maybe my idea isn't the best. Maybe this other guy has a better idea, or maybe I have a suggestion to get his even better than that. It wasn't so much can we jostle each other out of the way or talk down to each other to get our card to win, but just can we all work together and kind of come to the best solution for the department. I think there was a little apprehension at first, and they were kind of like, well, pick mine, but then eventually one of them was like, well, I do think his is better than mine, and I would change it like this. And then eventually we ended up with a card that, obviously it's not awesome, but because it can't be too good, would be no time to play test it under this scenario, but it was a fine card that I would not be unhappy to print.
Can you tell us what it was?
It was a instant 2 UU, return all enchantments and enchanted permanents to their owner's hand. It was safe, which was my number one criteria. This card will not do anything ridiculous. A lot of the other cards they submitted, it was like, sure, maybe we could print that if we tested it for a month. This one was like, okay, it's fine. Some people will like it. Some people will try to build decks with it, but it's safe. And if you look at Urza's Destiny, they didn't go safe enough.
Switching hats to an older hat you used to wear. You're in R&D now, but you came in through MagicTheGathering.com. What does it mean to you to see three people coming into the company really through reading MagicTheGathering.com and looking at Mark's articles and learning about game design and really just following the whole contest on the website? Can you talk a little bit about how that feels for you?
It really speaks to the power that the website has kind of grown into over the years. I remember being there from day one and hoping that people would read it and hope that they would think it was legitimate, stuff that they couldn't get anywhere else and not just more strategy or things like that. We wanted to offer the Magic community only insider stuff they couldn't get anywhere else. And Mark's column has kind of been the hallmark of that. And we'd often hear from people that worked on other games or even in the computer game industry, oh, I read Rosewater's columns all the time and it's really helped our company or really helped us out this way or that way. And I'm like, oh my God, when are we going to get something out of this? We already know all this stuff and he's telling everybody else. I think it finally has come full circle that there are smart people out there that have been paying attention and they understand how we do things, and now we get to kind of reap that reward and get them into work for us, and it's amazing. I hoping that this process was going to give us people we wouldn't otherwise be able to get. Like normally we hire people from the Pro Tour or, our old buddies we knew from 10 years ago back when they used to play. And that works just fine. I mean, obviously nothing's gone wrong with that system, but now we needed something else, something that like I couldn't point to a bunch of people I knew that had that skill set and hoped that we just took a shot in the dark. Is this process going to give us what we need? And it did. It really did. A bunch of smart people.
What do you think is different about this group of people than you might have gotten had you looked for 3 people to fill this position from the normal Pro Tour ranks?
I mean, they just have different passions about the game than the Pro Tour players do. They're not in it necessarily for any kind of glory. They're not in it because there's money or even to travel or kind of get their face on the website or on the cover of a magazine or whatever the Pro Tour or winning. It's just more like I like it because it's fun, or I like it because it's about magical spells and things like that. And my friends and I like to make cards, and those kind of people don't end up on the Pro Tour. The Pro Tour's not about, I don't care what it does. I just want to win with it. I don't care if it's cool. I just want to win with it. But we sell a lot of cards to people who like things because they're fun or cool and not because they want to win. And trying to find the champions of that kind of people, is something you just can't get at the Pro Tour. I mean, they are there. I mean, a lot of even our creative people have played on the Pro Tour or come from the Pro Tour. But to find like the ultimate in that, it was something that we had to try to look under some different stones, and I think that we did that.
Cool. Congratulations, and enjoy some rest. I think you get a little bit of a break after this long process.
Yeah, that's great. I hope my workload gets reduced with all the new people, and it should be a fun year.